right, Disney fans. Now, this was a franchise I remember actually pretty well because I believe that the series itself was announced not long after I graduated from graduate school. And I remember reading an article um, about Descendants, and the synopsis was like, oh, it's going to be the four children of, Disney villains going to interact in the fictional land of Aaron Ordon. And I was like, it's going to be live action. They announced the cast, and I'm like, I'm not really sure I'm feeling this. So you had Dove Cameron, Boo Boo Stewart, Sophia Carson, and Cameron Boyce, who I'm like, okay, that's the kid from Jesse. That's the girl from, what's that show, Liv and Maddie. And that was about it. I didn't think too much of it because, again, I was just finishing up graduate school. I was working my regular job at a call center. So in terms of being a regular watcher of the Disney Channel at that time, no, I wasn't. I remember during my college years, the only time I would quote unquote catch up on Disney was when I was at home for the summer and I would channel surf and see what shows were on. I'm like, Shake It Up is kind of okay. I watched a little bit of Liv and Maddie, and that was about it. I didn't think too much of it because I'll watch other stuff. But Descendants came out, and I remember, dang, this movie's pretty interesting. It was better than I expected. It had some great music, and I remember the first time I saw Sophia Carson, and she hit one particular note during a song, and I said, you know what? After finishing the film, I'm like, she's going to be the next thing. And then I actually bought the DVD for Descendants at Best Buy, and it had like some extra features on it. And then they had her, doing Rotten to the Core by herself. And then when I bought Snow White on Blu-ray, it was some sort of anniversary edition. She was the one who was hosting a documentary on Snow White. And I said, yeah, she's going to be it. She's going to be it. And the next thing you know, she did, what was it called? Her own, a Cinderella story. She had her own Cinderella story. And then she went on to do other things. And even though she doesn't do Disney stuff anymore, she's been doing some Netflix films. She's been doing music. So she's definitely blown up quite a bit since the Descendants franchise. But more to the point of this particular video, Descendants is getting a new film this year called Descendants: The Rise of Red, which I believe is going to be the fourth official sequel, because there was Descendants 2, which personally I think was the best of the three. China Anne McClain as Uma, man, and plus the songs in that film were this movie probably had my favorite batch of songs. What's My Name? Seriously, it's 2024. It's 2024. And Descendants 2 came out in 2017. As soon as I hear the first musical note of that song, it's on. This is all hands on deck. Boom. But the other song, Chillin' Like a Villain, those two are probably my favorite songs in the Descendants franchise. Seriously, because they're bangers. But 3 really didn't do it for me. The story just was a bit weak. And then I believe after the tragic passing of Cameron Boyce at such a young age, they did a animated special, kind of like saying a farewell. I think it was called Descendants: The Royal Wedding. And then, of course, they had different things like an animated series on Disney. What was it called? Descendants: Wicked World. And now they have the book series. That was a thing too. I think that was what the series was based off of. But yeah, now they got the fourth film, and ever since it was announced, I think it was way back in like 2022 when this project was announced and there was some scrutiny. There were people who feel like the Descendants franchise couldn't and shouldn't go on since Cameron's passing, and I have never agreed with that point, because I think that Descendants as a franchise is bigger than one particular person. Now, don't get me wrong, Cameron was one of the OGs, or more specifically, his character of Carlos DeVille, because Dove Cameron was Mal, the daughter of Maleficent. Sophia was the daughter of the evil queen from Snow White, named Evie. Boo Boo Stewart portrayed Jay, who was the son of Jafar, yet he acted and had a lot of mannerisms similar to Aladdin when he was a street rat. And again, Cameron Boyce was Carlos DeVille, the son of Cruella from 101 Dalmatians. And as someone who watched all of the films, Jay and Carlos really felt like, the B team. It really felt like Mal and Evie were the main characters, despite the main four being Mal, Carlos, Evie, Jay. And I think another reason why I feel like the second film is my favorite is because after they rescued Ben from, Uma, and they made it back to Ordon, the guys actually sat down with the girls like, look. Every time you have an issue, it's always you two going off somewhere to talk about it and venting. But the four of us came here together, and I thought we were like close. So whenever there's a problem, we should all band together, as opposed to just one person running away and then, the other one running after him while keeping half of us in the dark. And that kind of felt like a very self-aware moment, like, hey, Descendants was supposed to be a group thing, but it really feels like, it's the girls who are the main characters. And that's actually very valid. And even in the fourth film, it really feels like that, because when you think about it, Mal out of the four is like the main one, and her relationship with Ben. And then you have Evie, who's like her confidant, and she's like, up there in top billing too. Carlos, his thing was really being afraid of dogs, bonding with dogs in the first film. Then in the second and third one, he's trying to get with Jane, who is the daughter of the fairy godmother, and that's kind of his subplot. And then with Jay in the second one, you would think he was going to get together with the daughter of Milan, but she wasn't in the third one, so he ended up being bros with the son of Gaston and the what's his name, Gil, in the third one, I believe. So it's just one of those things where they kind of felt like background characters despite being part of the main group. So I always felt like, people saying, oh, the franchise can't continue without him, it's disrespectful. No, I don't think that's the case, because I do know that the other three, Dove, Sophia, and Boo Boo, said that they wouldn't be a part of the franchise anymore. Not just because they're older and moving on to different things, but it wouldn't feel the same without Cameron. And I can completely understand that. But as a franchise, Descendants is bigger than these characters. Now, I understand, like, Mal is one of the main ones, and technically, wouldn't she be the queen now, since her and Ben got married? And if I remember correctly, in that animated special, it was said that Carlos went to like veterinary school or something like that, hence why he wasn't there. But yeah, I don't think Descendants should halt just because of one person's passing, because Descendants has such potential for so many other things. Like, what's the synopsis of this one? The Rise of Red, the daughter of the Queen of Hearts, and Chloe, who was the daughter of Cinderella and King Charming. Wait a minute, daughter of Cinderella and King, wasn't what was her name? Can't think of her name right now. Audrey, wasn't she the daughter of Cinderella? Oh, actually, no, that was Sleeping Beauty. My bad. Okay. Team up to travel with the White Rabbit's pocket watch and prevent a catastrophic coup on Ordon. So, yeah, we have different characters here because there's more than just 4 villains kids to work with. Now, I believe Uma is portraying like the principal or something of Ordon, which is interesting. But yeah, I just feel like the Descendants franchise isn't something that's to be halted. I mean, look at High School Musical. To my knowledge, none of the main cast have passed, but the series went on. You had the film franchise, you had the musical they did. When I say musical, I mean the one that actually toured around. Then they revived the series with the Disney Plus show, which I never watched, but I do know it exists. High School Musical, the musical. But yeah, I don't think that Descendants being just shelled forever is the right way to go about it. So let me know how you feel about it. Do you think Descendants as a franchise should not continue after Cameron's passing, or do you feel like me where it's like, I think it's okay, it's a whole franchise? It's not Cameron. Carlos wasn't the face of Descendants. When you think Descendants, okay, pre Cameron's passing, when you think Descendants, Mal is no doubt one of, if not the first people you think about. I'd say followed by Evie. And then after the second one, I'd say Uma as well. But that's just me. Because, I think obviously this is a franchise anybody can enjoy, but I think it's safe to assume, especially if you're a Disney fan, I think it's safe to assume that this was definitely more female focused than male focused. But that's just me. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.